Just some random thoughts on the Kavanaugh nomination as it stands now for the Supreme Court on this September 20th on Thursday. Um, it has already been shown that he is of a great political mind, and he was able to use legalese and borderline misleading on questions about writing of memos and conferring on memos and picks of judges under George Bush. His full record has not been released. I believe that's extremely important, especially for someone whom we're about to give a lifetime appointment to. It doesn't matter what political sense he has, if he's a Republican or Democrat or independent, but the very fact that his record is not being scrutinized at the level that it should be scrutinized is reprehensible. And this would go for both parties, whichever party was in power. Here you are appointing a person for a lifetime appointment on a court that has vast power to affect the lives of millions of people for generations to come, and you're just parsing out what you want the public to know. I believe the public should have full transparency. And so I believe at this point in time, this whole nomination process is tainted. Even before the allegation of sexual impropriety came along, we will never get to the truth with a capital T on the question of sexual impropriety. But this whole nominating process has been rushed that within 3-4 days, you're going to rush him to a full vote, and within 5-6 days, 7 days, you're going to put this man on the Supreme Court when not looking at his whole record. I think that is political expediency, and I think it's laziness of Congress, and it actually stinks of partisan divide. Let's look at the whole record. Let's put his nomination aside. We thank you for coming, but in the spirit of justice and in the spirit of integrity and fairness for all those involved, let's move on to the next nominee. And let's look at the next nominee and look at everything that the next nominee has to bring. The executive has the right by the Constitution to nominate whomever they would like to nominate. I do not disagree with that. I disagree with process. That once again, you are going to put someone on a bench for a lifetime, and you're only looking at a small part of their record when there is some 20 something odd years of writing, history, and everything else that has to be vetted through before that person can assume the title of Supreme Court Justice. Just my thoughts as I watch my fish swim back and forth. If you like what you hear, subscribe. Please feel free to share. Keep the discussion open. I'm more than welcome to having a spirited discussion over anything.